Happy Friday! Anyway, so it's Friday. I made it through the work week. So let me actually just tell you some really cool things that happened in my personal life, and then we'll get into, talking about also some Jesus things, which also has to do with my personal life, but whatever. So I finally, after a long time of searching, I found a job that I can do with my disability, which is really rad, and it's going very well, like really, really well. I like my coworkers, I like my boss, I like the work that I'm doing. It makes me think without being stressful, it really fits, and right now it fits my schedule that I need really well. I need to ease into working more full hours because once again disabled and I have fatigue issues. So right now it's 9 to 2 and that gives me time 9 to 2 I can work that, go home and rest for a little bit and then do youth group stuff or do any other things that I'm doing that evening. So it's actually like a really good fit for me. Anyway, and today I had like my first month performance review thing, and it went super well, like to the point where my boss says that he wants me to actually have this as like a career thing. So with any luck, I'm going to be at this company for a long time, and it's really awesome because that's good stuff. Anyway, just wanted an update because it's answer to prayer that I've been really looking for. So, you share the good things God does for you, so I'm sharing. Anyway, I also got a bunch of Bible books, Jesus books that I'm going to be reading about ministry stuff. So right now, starting with Your First 2 Years in Youth Ministry by Doug Fields. This one is like a classic for anyone who does youth ministry work. It was written in 2002, and it's pretty much still the gold standard for anyone who first starts should look at this. Some stuff is outdated. I've already found a few, outdated references or ideas that aren't allowed anymore. But at the same point, the spiritual aspect is still very solid, and the ideas of scheduling and how to not pace yourself without being overwhelmed are still really good. So I got that. I also then, by the same token, got his other book, Purpose Driven Youth Ministry. This one is also rather outdated because it was written in... Let me look. It was written... Yes, it was written in 1998. I mean, look at this cover. I could have told you this was 90s. But the thing is that it is, once again, a good starting point. It has some good ideas that are always good. Teens of today are the same as teens of yesterday. What's going on might be slightly different, but the heart of a person is still the same. People are still people. Anyway, so I'm going to read that. I know that I won't use everything in those books because they are outdated, but they are still very good resources. And I also got this one. I'm really actually excited for this one. The Youth Worker's Guide to Helping Teenagers in Crisis. As I mentioned before, a lot of my kids are in crisis of some sort. Most people are in crisis of some sort, let's be honest with each other. So this book is about how to, first of all, make sure you're approaching things in a way that is, in a way that is compassionate and coming from the right angle while not, forgetting Jesus and also not overemphasizing Jesus. I know that for people who haven't dealt with crisis situations, that might seem weird, but, if you've ever lost someone, if you've ever had, a death in the family, you don't want to hear about how much happier they are in heaven right now. You will in 2 or 3 months once you're able to calm down and start the grieving process. But right when they died and you're just angry and sad and mad and just need a hug and just need to scream, you don't want to hear platitudes then. And it's pretty much, explaining that. It's how to respond quickly but effectively, how to learn about, when you have to do the legal things versus what's ethically important, and, how to balance doing what society needs with, spiritual needs, how to make a team to help, how to get the parents on your side and the schools on your side, and then how to help after the initial event and help them heal going forward. For example, like if there's an assault, how to do the immediate response, but then also how to keep watching them in the coming months to make sure that they're healing and that they aren't going to, have a remission or something. And so I'm actually like really looking forward to this because this is good stuff. And this is stuff that is very useful. So I'm looking forward to reading this a lot. But I know that I need to read the basics first before I can go into the good stuff. So I've read the first few things of this, and it's really good. When I was given it, I was given this copy, taking this from my youth pastor until I'm done with it. And, he was like, some of it's really out of date, but I haven't yet run into things that are crazy out of date, but I know I'm also only, like, this far in out of this. But so far it's pretty good. Like, I just read the whole chapter about discouragement, and that's good stuff. But, I was thinking for my spiritual stuff to talk about in this video, I'm not just going to read from the book verbatim because that's not really useful. So I was thinking about just answering some of the questions. Like for example, to go over just the basics of what youth ministry stuff is, do I have a sprinting mentality or a marathon mindset when it comes to ministry? Am I thinking long term or am I thinking, gotta do this? And the thing is that I know things will fall into place, but I know that I like to sprint to get there. I like to do almost like sprint, walk, sprint, walk, sprint, walk, and I know that that's not very that's something I do have to work on. How will it affect the church or the student ministry if I quit too soon? It would destroy some of the kids. The kids are just starting to make bonds with me. If I left, it would destroy them because, they've had a lot of people come and go, and they are currently in the middle of figuring out a lot of things. So I gotta be stable until they figure out how to create their own stability. Personal plan. What is my personal plan to evaluate my motives? Because sometimes when you want to make decisions, sometimes it's God, sometimes it's you. And how do you know when it's you and your ego versus God? Luckily, the thing is, I'm not the one that's in charge. I have a pastor above me. And so I run things by him. I ask him and I go, hey, by the way, I got this. I think about doing this. Is that cool? And I talk it out with him. I also have some other friends in ministry. Some of them are friends from growing up. One of them was in my youth group with me in high school and middle school. And, other ones are just friends that I made when I went to that youth conference. And I keep in contact with them a lot in order to, get out my frustrations about the kids and vice versa. But then also to help me get on the right track because I'm new to this. I know that I don't know. And because of that, I'm able to, put aside right now I'm able to put aside my ego and listen and make sure I ask before I do anything. But I have to make sure that I keep that up as I go moving forward. I have to continually make sure that I have someone else that I talk to about things before I do them for the purpose of making sure I keep my ego in check. Because I know that while I'm very good at making decisions, I also know that sometimes I know that I'm good at it. So I just go for it even if I'm not supposed to. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then the conversation about numbers games. Thing is, I've actually already had a few times of people being like, well, how many kids you have? Or, oh, that's nice that you only have that many kids, The thing is that, screw y'all. I'm really happy about the kids I have, and I'm really happy about what each one of them is doing. I may not have 100 children in my youth group. I only have 6. But each of those 6, I know. I know those kids, and I know what to do, and they are making leaps and bounds in their faith. And that is what's important. Let's see. And what can I do to improve what I'm struggling with? It's just continuing to talk to people, continuing to talk to God. I'm going to have to continue to be very vigilant in my time with God and my Bible time, because it's easy to slip. Especially when I'm like, well, I'm studying the Bible to talk to the kids anyway. No, like, I still gotta kick my butt. So yeah. And then other questions of, how do you deal with discouragement? And what is your plan for dealing with it? So when I get discouraged, once again, it's reaching out to others. I have friends who do youth ministry, and I have friends who are just Christian friends that I'm close to. And I reach out to both. I'll reach out to the youth ministry friend to be like, this kid's doing this, what do I do? And I'll reach out to my other friend just to go, yo, I'm sad. Can you send me pictures of your cat? And can we talk about this video game? Can we play Pokemon together? Can we go camping together in Pokemon Shield and Sword and Shield? I'm just feeling sad and I want to pet your Eevee that you have. Like, sometimes that's what I need. And I know it. Sometimes I upload 10 TikToks in a row of my cat looking cute. I distract myself. And then I pray. And then I read. And then I talk to people, and I remind myself that no matter how stressed out things might seem, the kids are going to be all right, and I'm going to be all right. And as long as I remember that, God's going to take care of me. Let's see. Yeah, I have friends inside and outside ministry who take care of me. And do I have time throughout my week when I consciously get alone in order to get refreshed? I do, actually. So the thing is that I purposely have me time. I have a little bit every day. I have to get better at having a full Sabbath day. That's mainly trying to turn my Saturdays into that. With my schedule being in turbulence between job searching and all of that, it was kind of hard to figure out a day. But I think I'm going to be focusing on Saturdays. But for right now, every single day in the after evening, I have a little of me time. I read this book for a while. I ate dinner, I read this book for a while. And do you want to know what I'm going to do after I'm done with that? I might read my Bible for a little bit. And then I'm going to have time just for me to calm down. Obviously, I'm still going to think about God. But, I'm not going to be thinking about the kids. I'm not going to be thinking about how to reach out to them. I'm not going to be thinking about their individual problems. I'm not going to be thinking about any of my friends' issues and baggage that I am helping with. I am going to put on a podcast that I like. Right now I'm re-listening to all of My Brother and Me because it makes me laugh. It's not Christian, but it makes me laugh. And I'm going to play Pokemon. And I'm going to do that for about an hour. Maybe a little bit more, depending on the length of the episodes. And then I'm going to go to bed while listening to, quiet piano hymn music. And that's pretty much my night schedule, is after dinner I read for a little bit from one of these books, then I read my Bible for a bit, and then I completely calm down by listening to a podcast while playing a game until I get really sleepy. And then I go to bed. And it's really relaxing, and it's a really great way for me to de-stress. It's probably been the healthiest bedtime ritual that I've had, because it helps me de-stress so much, because I'm not thinking about my friends and what's going on. I'm ignoring my messages for the most part. I have one or two people who don't stress me out, whose messages I pay attention to during that time. I'm listening to something that makes me laugh and smile, and I'm playing a game that is very calming to me. And I do all that, and it gets me to calm down enough for me to fall asleep, which is really awesome because I'm very bad at falling asleep. And it's a great ritual I've been doing at night that really just helps me recenter and actually get good rest and then wake up ready for the next morning. So yeah, that's been that is my quiet time that I have in order to de-stress and not let myself get bogged down by all the things. Because the thing is, I have to admit, doing ministry things, so even when I am thinking about God for myself, and I am praying to God, all the other issues that come from doing this ministry work are now interwoven in with my me time with God. Because those kids, their issues are also tied to God. Because it's me leading them to God so they can figure those out. So it's very difficult for me to totally separate and disengage from the kids when it comes to my Jesus time. It's something I have to work on, yes, but for now, that is what I'm doing in order to detach my mind from it so I don't become too stressed about what's going on. Yeah, so that's that. I'm going to keep reading through this book and answering the questions when I finish the sections and making videos about it for y'all. I don't know when I'm going to make another video thing. We'll see. I'm going to try and figure out a schedule as I see how comfortable this becomes. I'm planning on making videos at least Sunday night and Wednesday nights because Sunday church and Sunday school, and then Wednesday is youth group. Though obviously not going to have youth group this Sunday because it's Christmas. So we'll see about that. But, I might also throw in a day or something in the week to make sure I talk about books or whatever. We'll figure it out. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that y'all have a great night. I hope that you do good things. I hope that you make good choices. I hope that you're listening to God and that you talk to God. Yeah. Anyway. Night, y'all. Peace.